All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back already. So I was literally in the last video just saying that, oh, you know, I'm not really sure, maybe a week or two or something like that. You know, dev blogs, I don't know when the next one's going to be, maybe 2 days. Well, the next dev blog came like 30 minutes after I posted the video. This is the Raketenjagdpanzer, the low profile slinger. Now, first off, when watching that clip, you can see right away that the reload animations on these Atgms are amazing. The missiles are fast. It looks like it has two, so I think... And actually, in one case, there was only one missile. But it only fires one missile at a time. And yes, there's a machine gun on the top, so you know you're going to be very safe when encountering vehicles at close range, right? Or infantry. Selfless infantry plug. Yeah, so let's read about what we've got going, and then we'll discuss some of the other SPGs in the game. The German SPG Untitled Raketenjagdpanzer is a big brother to the Jagdpanzer 4-5. The cannon has been removed from the front armor plate, thus making it monolithic. Also, a mounted machine gun has been added. The commander's and driver's seats have been moved to the front and have triplexes for better view. The machine, well, if we ever get sim tanks, the machine has an operator's gun sight and a commander's panoramic sight. You can see them on the 3D model of the vehicle. So the model's beautiful. It's fast, and it's got Atgms. I think this is going to be pretty interesting to play. We'll talk about the IT1 and the Sheridan in a bit. But anyway, before my ADD just makes me go nuts just looking at these pictures, the Raketenjagdpanzer, let's call it the Rocket. The Racket is another rocket-only vehicle along with the Soviet IT-1. The SPG has light armor, only 50 millimeters at the front of the hull. Even though it is angled, it does not provide good protection from enemy hits, but Atgms compensate for all of the rocket's disadvantages. It can make 2 shots before reloading and carries 14 rockets that can burn through 60 centimeters of homogeneous armor. 600 millimeters of armor penetration. Doubtless, this will be a real monster in War Thunder tank battles. It looks amazing. The level of detail on this 3D model is wildly impressive. I'm glad we got some Cube videos in. Again, it's nice to see some videos in the dev blogs because we haven't seen that in a while, actually. A lot of the dev blogs have not had that in them. And seeing it in-game, I think really helps build the hype about it. I think this patch is significant. This patch is starting to... I mean, it's been significant since they announced that they were going to do Atgms. But anyway, back to the Rocket. The Raketenjagdpanzer commander should avoid being spotted, and the low profile of this vehicle will help a lot, and aim the guided rockets accurately, trying to damage the enemy ammo rack in the first place. This is how the Raketenjagdpanzer becomes a silent and deadly tank assassin that sends its opponents to the hangar one by one, 14 missiles at a time. The awesome speed of this SPG, 70 kilometers per hour both forward and reverse, will allow you to be the first to get into a good position and rapidly roll back for reloading after launching 2 missiles at a time. So it's a gorgeous vehicle. The level of detail is incredibly impressive. This was the one that people were kind of speculating that was going to be the Germans' SPG. I'm pretty excited for it, and it opens up so many possibilities, both in RB gameplay and just for custom battles that I've been musing about in my head. So imagine Atgms versus bombers and stuff like that. That could be a lot of fun. But this thing is going to be so fast. We've already seen the speed of the Untitled Chapter 4-5 SPG in the game already, and this is the same chassis more or less. Guns taken off, and then this incredibly detailed reloading animation for it, and then being able to fire 2 missiles. I'm wondering what the reload time in between that is, where the launching mechanisms would go back into the vehicle, pick up 2 more missiles, and pop back out again. So that's going to be sweet to see. I cannot wait to see this thing on the dev server. And that brings up a good question that I want to ask you guys. What is the vehicle that you want to see first when the dev server is available? Because I'm going to get on there in a hurry, and I would really, I'm going to check out everything I can, but I'd really like to see your feedback as to, you know, what you want to see first. What you think is like the vehicle of the patch? Because we've got a lot of stuff. And that kind of brings us into the discussion of Atgm launchers, right? So the IT1, we made a video, a little hype video on that a bit ago, and that's based off a T-62 tank chassis. The scary thing about that is it's a T-62 tank chassis. That thing is incredibly low profile, very well armored, you know, relative for medium tank chassis, and it is Soviet, so it is Soviet strong, right? And but so we know we have the Soviet ATGM, the IT-1, and it fires one missile at a time. Seems to have a fairly quick reload mechanism, and it uses the 3M7 Drakon missile. And let's see, the Americans, on the other hand, have the Sheridan, which is a light tank with a 152 millimeter main gun. So it's pretty much like an incredibly fast KV-2 with a big derp gun, but with modern derp rounds and the ability to fire anti-tank guided missiles. So that should be pretty exciting, and we might have a little bit of a preview for the Sheridan tomorrow in a Men of War video, because these videos kind of take precedent over Men of War Mondays. Men of War Mondays can always easily be brought to a Tuesday. It's just for the alliteration factor that we have Men of War Mondays, and it's not a different day. In fact, I've thought about moving the Men of War day to a different day, like a Sunday or Saturday when there's a lot more availability. That actually brings up another question. What day do you guys usually watch videos? That would be interesting to know. So, the Istrebitil Tankov 1, or the IT-1 Tank Destroyer 1, Istrebitil Tankov Tank Destroyer. That's cool. We just learned a little bit of Russian. Probably not very well pronounced. But, ladies and gentlemen, missiles are coming to War Thunder, and it opens up a whole slew of questions and speculation as to... But it's kind of fun, because if War Thunder can get some things good, recently I don't know, there's been some scary things and questionable things, but as far as like the game itself and like how beautiful the game looks and how it plays well in the vehicles and everything, like they do a pretty damn good job. It's just like some of the other things that they could really, if they worked on, I think this game would like at peak right now, there's 60,000 people on like during a weekday. You know what I mean? So it really makes you wonder if they could fix just a few things where this game could go, because it's already a very successful game and it's very fun. And obviously most of us here have played it, you know, for quite a while. For me, it's like over 3 years now. And through the beta days and the closed beta testing for tanks, closed alpha for tanks, open beta for tanks, it's just been an exciting time. And now tanks have gone from, I think the first time we saw Panzer IIIs and T-34s to now IT-1s based off T-62 tank chassis and the Raketenjagdpanzer with anti-tank guided missiles. They're talking about airborne vehicles, and obviously they're just light, so that's why they were airborne. But like, it makes you wonder, if they're adding missiles, like where could the game go? What could they implement to really, you know, just kind of further increase the tactical, you know, elements, the gameplay you can have? I mean, one day I still hope for infantry in this game, but you never know. If you're seeing missiles and, you know, stuff like that, why not, all right? I don't know, but it's fun to muse about. So now the question is, what is the British anti-tank guided missile launcher that we're going to see in the game? Or are they just going to get a Sheridan? I don't think so, but I'm curious to see what everyone thinks. But right now, this thing is going to be incredibly fast. So it's going to be fun to like get into a position and see if you can't get an eye on someone and then fire a missile. But see, that's the thing. The problem with anti-tank guided missiles is you're going to have to be in view sight to be able to fire them and hit the enemy. Well, that means you're going to be in view of incoming enemy fire, and this thing is not going to be able to survive, you know, incoming hits. But with its only 50 millimeters of frontal armor and then really thin armor on the sides and rear, but 600 millimeters of penetration and 14 guided missiles, that should be fun. The Raketenjagdpanzer seems pretty cool. I'm not really sure which one I'm looking forward to most, the IT-1 T-62 or the Raketenjagdpanzer 2. Or, no, excuse me, Sheridan. IT-1 Sheridan and Raketenjagdpanzer 2. But hey, I'm still a big believer, man. French tanks should be in 1.61. And we need some more Japanese vehicles in this patch. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon. This is exciting stuff.